everybody, I'm Kimberly Turner from cookingwithkimberly.com, and tonight I'm going to show you a really great entree. This is how to cook Napa Valley Pomegranate White Balsamic Pork Loin Roast. Now, if you see these pork loin roasts in your store, don't be afraid. In fact, I got one that was double that size. This is half of it. And they are beautiful cuts of meat. Delicious, delicious meat you'll get from this if you cook it properly, okay? Now, the pomegranate white balsamic comes in with this fantastic vinegar from Napa Valley Vinegar Company. This is their pomegranate white balsamic. It's going to be a great glaze for our pork loin roast. However, we're going to first pan saute this. We want to sear the outside of this, make it nice and brown, and throw it in the oven to finish. So that's what we're going to do. Right now on my stovetop, I have a large frying pan to fit my loin roast in, and I'm going to just add some olive oil to preheat. A couple tablespoons. You want that nice and hot before that goes in. So this isn't going to be used until later, but it is sure delicious. Make sure you check out my review on it, and it's from Wine Country Kitchens. You can check them out online at winecountrykitchens.com, and they have a full line of these vinegars, beautiful fruity flavors with this really high quality balsamic from Modena. Man, I can't speak enough amazing words about this whole line of products. Okay, so I have about a cup of flour in a large roasting pan that I'm just going to dredge my pork loin in, but I want to season it first. All right, I'm going to freshly grind some peppercorns. There's nothing like freshly grinding your spices, boy. The difference in quality is unsurpassed. If you don't have a mortar and pestle, make sure that you check out our store at shop.cookingwithkimberly.com and grab you one. They're relatively inexpensive, especially since they are going to be so versatile for you for so many recipes. I use mine every single day. Okay, let's season that flour up with some pepper and some salt and a couple dashes of cayenne pepper. Now I'm just going to stir that all up. And I want to dredge my pork loin in this flour completely. You want to make sure that every nook and cranny of this roast has this flour mixture on it. Now this is a 2.2 kilogram roast, which is about 4.8 or 9 pounds. And this guy is going to take about 20 minutes per pound to cook, to roasting, okay? But this is already going to get things started in the frying pan. It's going to do a lot of cooking, and then I'm going to finish it in the oven. It'll probably take maybe 40-45 minutes extra to make sure that it's cooked to the proper temperature. Test to make sure the oil is hot enough by splashing just a few drops of water. If it sizzles, then it's ready. I'm going to let it go just a couple more minutes to heat. Achieving a really nice crust is really essential for flavor, as well as being a nice medium for this glaze to stick onto after. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with that. Now, I'm going to just shake my roast off, making sure I don't have a whole bunch of excess flour. And into the pan it goes, and you're going to brown it on all sides. Really take your time with this step because it's the most important for flavor. Now try not to move it too much in the pan because that's going to break off your gorgeous floured crust. You want to just kind of leave it. If it starts to unstick itself, that means it's pretty much browned up nicely and you're going to be able to move it. If it's not releasing for you, let it go another minute or two and just see if it will. And if it doesn't, then you might have to just check it. But don't turn it until you know it's nice and brown. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over because it's nice and brown, and I want to show it to you. Now make sure when you're doing flipping, you're flipping it away from you so that it doesn't splash hot oil on you. That's terrible, okay? Oh, that's going to be all just beautiful flavor. That's what you're looking for, that beautiful caramelization, the brownness. You have little tasty tidbits in the bottom of the pan. Beautiful. Now do the same thing on the other sides. So this second side won't take nearly as long as the first side. Okay, this pork is done on this side. I'm going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees. And I'm gonna get a really firm grip on this pork loin roast because I want to try and get the ends a little bit charred as well. So you're gonna have to stand here for a little while and hold it, but brown those sides too. Okay, so I even browned the sides and the ends. Now I'm going to lay it on the side that has the fat, the top side. This looks lovely. So this is going into the oven just like this, in this pan. That's why I did it in this pan, so that I could throw it in. You're still gonna have these beautiful bits on the bottom for gravy at the end. And we're gonna throw that into the oven right now on 350 degrees. I'm gonna check it in about 20 minutes and I'll probably put a meat thermometer in at that point. I'm not going to be glazing it till nearly the end because I don't want it to burn. This has quite a bit of sugar in it. It's nice and sweet, it's aged, it's the balsamic as well as the pomegranate, so I don't want that to burn. Into the oven this goes. It looks lovely. It smells delicious. Don't touch that handle, it's super hot. So we're gonna use a little piece of tin foil to cover it so that it doesn't brown much more. It doesn't really need to get any more brown. We just want to finish cooking it. So I'm gonna put my thermometer in. So I'm gonna put my meat thermometer in and it's gonna be set to 145 degrees Fahrenheit. You wanna make sure that this is in the center of the roast. You don't want it to be touching the bottom of the pan. And I'm going to put it this way so I can actually see it when I look in there. Right into the center if you go in. So back into the oven. I'm going to cover this up a little bit. We have a little ways to go still. I don't want this to be tight on my roast. I want it to be loose because you want to still keep that beautiful crust. So just loose. You don't want it to brown. That's all. Back into the oven for 20 minutes at a time and keep checking it. Okay? You want it to register 145. Okay, so this is nearly at temperature that I need it to be at. And now it's glazing time. Here's the exciting part. So, we have this nice crust and it's gonna continue to be a nice crust because this is actually gonna caramelize on there too. So I'm just gonna pour some into a little bowl of this fantastic vinegar. And I'm going to just glaze this with it. Okay, do the best you can to get it all over. If you want to impart that flavor, we're going to do it twice in fact. I'm going to put it back in for another 5 minutes, let it crisp up again, and I'm going to do one more glazing. Gorgeous. Back in. I'm going to grab a handful of mushrooms and I'm going to slice slices because I'm going to actually use the pan juices and I'm going to make a little gravy after when we're letting this rest when we take the roast out. So that's how we're gonna roll. These are cremini mushrooms. You can use any mushrooms you like, whether they're button mushrooms, creminis, shiitakes, oysters, whatever you have on hand, whatever you like. And however fancy you wanna get. I'm serving this alongside some rice tonight, as well as some beautiful cranberry sauce. It's a Napa Valley Bordeaux Cherry Balsamic Cranberry Sauce with one of the vinegars from this collection. Fantastic recipe. You have to check that one out for sure. Since we're doing a pomegranate white balsamic pork loin tonight, I'm going to use some fresh pomegranate that I got today at Harvest Barn. Beautiful, beautiful produce right now. This is from the States. Gorgeous. I'm just going to cut it in half and I'm actually going to just get some of the seeds out so that I can sprinkle them on top when I serve the pork loin. Okay? Gorgeous. You don't need a whole bunch. You just need a few to sprinkle on top. So one more basting and back in one more time. Then I'm going to show you how to make this delicious pan sauce. Now just put it in until it gets nice and crisp one more time. And we'll be right on the temperature I need it to be on. Back in the oven. Well, this looks glorious. It's done, it's crispy, it's lovely. I made sure I put it under the broiler for just a couple minutes just to make sure that that skin is nice and crisp, and that's exactly what I want. Look at how beautiful that is. It smells delicious. Now, we have a ton of great things going on in the bottom of this pan, so I need to be able to access this. I'm going to move my roast, there's my timer. I'm going to move my roast over and I'm going to let it rest for at least 5 minutes before I'm going to cut it. I don't want to cut into it right now because if I did, this thing is going to just ooze all of its beautiful juices out. Oh, that's a nice thing. Don't even take out the thermometer. Let it sit in there for 5 minutes. But we're gonna cover it with that loose foil tent here. Okay. Okay, so let me show you these juices here in the bottom. So I've got some little browned bits and I've got some nice fat and a little bit of juice, okay? So that's gonna turn into a lovely sauce. You could make a gravy if you wanted to, but I don't want to make it quite a gravy. I want to keep it sort of kind of clear-ish. So I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to deglaze the pan with a little bit of red wine. Tonight I'm using a 2012 Malbec from Rancourt Winery. Make sure you check out my review on this stuff. Really tasty. All right, so deglazing the pan. Maybe a couple splashes, that's all. Don't forget that this handle is super duper hot. So we're going to just go ahead and scrape those little bits off the bottom and off the sides because that's just flavor. That wine will really help get those bits off. I'm also going to add just a little bit of this vinegar, maybe a teaspoon or two. And I want that to just reduce down and get thicker. I have my pomegranate seeds ready to sprinkle, and I'm also going to add my mushrooms. I want those to tenderize and cook and give their beautiful flavor to that liquid as well. Well, we have utter deliciousness going on in here. My mushrooms are nice and tender. I have a gorgeous, it's almost like a gravy because there were some nice browned floury bits on the bottom and it's kind of thickened up my sauce. And I added probably all in all about a tablespoon of the pomegranate vinegar just to give some really tasty flavor. Let's give it a quick taste here. If you'd like your sauce to be a little bit thicker, but you still want to maintain quite a bit of it, a nice volume of it, sprinkle just maybe a teaspoon of flour on the top just to thicken it up slightly. Oh, that is scrumptious. Gosh, that's good. With all those little bits, oh man, that's good. It's so nice and tangy and sweet-ish with this balsamic. Out of this world. Oh, I need another little taste. That's one of the best sauces ever, I'm telling you. Oh, that's good. Yum. Okay. So now our roast has been sitting here for a little while, just cooling down. You don't want to lose all those beautiful juices, and I might even leave it maybe another couple more minutes just to make sure that we're not losing all of the moisture. But I am going to remove this, see how we're doing. I think we're all right. You did such an awesome job by this point of keeping all that nice juiciness in there. So you don't want to just cut into it and let it all run out, okay? Give it a couple more minutes. Keep this warm on your stove top. This is a show-stopping meal. Okay, I think we're ready to slice this up. Now you can serve this family style or you can individually portion it out. So I'm gonna slice this on the bias. We'll see what we got going on here. Beautiful. I love having these end little bits. Oh, they're my favorite. Look at this succulent piece of meat. Unreal. Oh. Has a beautiful crust still. That flavor. Chefs get to try the first bit. So I'm gonna just cut some slices off. As many as we possibly need, I guess, and I'm going to leave the rest intact and whole. It's cooked perfectly all the way through. It is so tender and juicy, I'm telling you. What lovely, lovely meat. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just going to serve it with a nice bit of rice, and I'm going to make a nice little shape here. Gorgeous. Let's get some of these pieces on the plate. So I'm going to spoon some of this sauce and the mushrooms over top. Pop off those edges. Sprinkle some beautiful pomegranate seeds over top. Gorgeous! And there you have it. What a gorgeous, Gorgeous presentation. I can't wait to taste this. Look at the crispy bits on the edges of the meat. Oh man, that crust is lovely. The pomegranate is so nice. It's a nice surprise. It's a pop of sweetness and freshness, and it's gonna all go very nicely with this rice. It's gonna soak up that beautiful pan sauce. Oh. Well, the only thing left to do is to try it. Let's go. I don't want to wreck my plate. It's so pretty. You hardly need a knife for this meat, actually. Oh, the sauce. Mmm. Mmm. A bit of rice to soak up that sauce. Mmm. Out of this world. Out of this world good. Mmm. The pork is tender and juicy. It has a rich flavor, perfect for the season, for this cooler season, going from fall into winter. Mmm. The pop of those fresh pomegranate seeds. What a lovely combination. Mmm. That meat is out of this world, I'm telling you, man. Wow. So flavorful. That pan sauce is to die for. Mmm. This couldn't have turned out to be a better meal. This Napa Valley pomegranate white balsamic vinegar did a bang-up job of imparting a beautiful flavor to that crust that we already have, that we achieved in the frying pan. We seared it, and then we put it in the oven and let it continue. Then you add this, and it just kind of caramelizes on there. The pan sauce has just such a delicious savoriness. It's got all those little burnty, charred bits on the bottom, turned into a gorgeous kind of gravy with the little bit of flour that was on that roast. The mushrooms, outstanding in there. Again, I hope that you have some fresh pomegranate seeds, because that sure did, it was pièce de résistance, that's for sure. Plus, it makes it so much more beautiful, and it's a beautiful, for entertaining. You could have guests and give them something that looks like that. That is a gourmet meal, I'm telling you. Plus, you have leftovers for tomorrow, all right? Make sure you get online and check out winecountrykitchens.com for this vinegar and their whole line of balsamics. Outstanding, really high quality, delicious, delicious products, okay? I hope that you try this recipe out. It's really not that hard. Don't be scared of big chunks of meat, okay? They're not that hard to deal with, all right? That's how you cook Napa Valley pomegranate white balsamic pork loin roast. Ta-da. All right, follow me on Twitter at Cooking with Kim E with a capital E. Like the fan page at facebook.com/cookingwithkimberly. My shows are on ifood.tv/cookingwithkimberly, youtube.com/cookingwithkimberly, and you can find me syndicated on Roku. Come to my website at cookingwithkimberly.com and subscribe, interact with us, and let us know what's going down in your culinary world, all right? Be a champion in your kitchen and eat deliciously. Bye. Oh boy.